All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to my apostle, elders, a great millstone to rule well. Peace and sanitation, all the Akim, pushing this truth with our righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. And what you see here is basically going in on the history of the Federal Reserve. I was inspired by the spirit of Yahweh Shai to do this lesson by the apostles and elders of great millstone. I was watching their live camp this past Saturday, and the apostles was going in on the foundation of the Federal Reserve, man, with this with the meeting of Jekyll Island. So I had to look into it, and I'm not going to read all this on this article, but I'm just basically going to read what you see here. The headline, it says the meeting of Jekyll Island, and it says November the 20th, 1910. It said a secret meeting at a secluded island off the coast of Georgia in 1910 laid the foundations of the Federal Reserve, which we know through the spirit, the Federal Reserve is what, man? A private sector, a private bank, which is against what the American Constitution. And the Federal Reserve is what? A debt note, man, because they're printing out of a fiat currency that's not backed by any gold or silver, which is laying on what? A usury unto the people, man. But these people are so stupid, they don't actually know what's going on, man. But through the spirit, let me, before I grab this video, let me grab Isaiah chapter 29, verse, should be verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and say, who seeth us and who knoweth us, man? And the Lord is doing what he's disposing these devils in these last days. Because Esau, Edom, his powers went through what? Secrecy, man. His powers in secrecy and lying and deceit and fraud. Now he's getting exposed in these last days for being a man of what? Man of sin. He's been using usury, which is against the scripture, against these nations, against his own people, and more so the Israelites, man, especially the Israelites, because that's redlining, all these different things when it comes to Jake trying to get a loan and trying to catch up in the society. He uses usury. Why? Because he adds interest, that high interest rate amongst the Israelites, man, which is against the scriptures, man. That's usury. So the Lord, he's exposing these things in these last days, man. So I'm going to jump into the apostles and elders, and I'm going to probably play about 5 minutes in, and then I'm going to start jumping to some scriptures.
Went up, everything fucking went up. Used cars are more expensive than new cars. Something's wrong here, man.
Right. And then let's not talk about how you set up the money system. Let's go back to Jekyll Island. 1910, you did it in secrecy. Oh,
Which is a conspiracy.
which was a conspiracy. All right, you did it in secrecy. You had to go all the way to Jekyll Island. That was what, 1910? Then you had the top banking families, some of the representatives of the top banking families. They all came together and decided basically how they would rip off the people. So you created that Federal Reserve Act.
Debt-based money system.
Right. And then later it became law.
Debt bearing. It says it on the dollar bill.
I have a precept.
This is a tender for all debts.
Right. Legal.
So as soon as you take the dollar, it becomes you part of the debt.
Right. Because the dollar is known as a
debt-bearing note.
A product. It's a what is it? The gross domestic product.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's something. It's like it's no difference than a raw material that you use to make something to make money off.
And then we found out a dollar is a measurement of weight.
Yep.
The weight of
A
what?
dollar of what?
Right.
Dollar of
Dollar
what?
of what?
Yeah, you got
Used
pound.
to be a dollar of silver.
Silver or gold.
Silver or gold.
Yeah.
I have a precept.
Yep.
But see, y'all don't understand it. Even some of you Israelites don't understand
Right.
it, man. Y'all need to watch more GMS video.
Yeah.
And this is why the Apostle Paul said that man of sin be revealed. See, all of that wickedness that you've done is being exposed, man. Yahweh Shem Shai put the spirit on us to expose you devils. This is not of us. We're just utensils of Yahweh Shem Shai.
I can already see that from here. That's a silver certificate.
Con.
That's a silver certificate. So what they did was they created something that looked almost exactly as a silver certificate, but they took off silver certificate.
Yep.
You know,
It's got it right
Bearer
up top.
on the demand $1 silver dollar. That's the same.
Yeah, it says silver certificate. This certifies that there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States of America $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand.
And you're the bearer that makes the demand. I want the silver.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to take that receipt and go to the Treasury and say, look, I demand $1 worth of silver.
Yep.
And they're supposed to give it to you.
And this
Try doing
is
that
Take
now.
that to a bank now. they're gonna look at you like,
You'll get arrested.
Yeah.
look, you in the wrong century,
Yeah.
buddy.
I think this says 1935.
Yeah, because even though he confiscated the gold and the silver, mainly the gold, do you know they put it back in the market, and the only ones that could take it were foreigners. The gold certificate, which was a $20 gold certificate for a troy ounce of gold in the form of a coin, when FDR took it, confiscated it, they confiscated the certificates and the gold.
Okay, right.
But there was a lot of Americans that was keeping it. They would
Right.
tell you that. They would say,
Oh, yeah.
I ain't giving this motherfucking gold up.
Right.
Because they knew about money.
Right.
Yeah.
And what happened was he brought the gold standard back, but you know what he did? He almost doubled it. When he brought the gold standard back, instead of being $20, it was $35 and change.
Look
So
at
what
that.
happened?
Yeah,
They
devalued.
put more.
Yeah.
They put
More
double the amount of
yeah.
certificates.
Yep. Cheapening the value of that dollar.
Killing the value of the dollar, and they're doing that right now.
Yep.
See that stimulus program, that money that they send out checks. Guess what? They taking it right back.
Right.
You notice the Biden, they talking about since everything's going up, we're gonna do another round of stimulus. Well, if they did another round of stimulus, they would have to print more money, and they're always printing money. They never close that machine.
Right.
But it's the velocity
Right.
of how they print it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
They keep raising the what they call the debt ceiling.
Yep, that's right. They're doing
Right.
like this right now.
And what the apostles are going into, that's basically usury, man. He's basically going in on adding interest, and until he's adding interest, because you got to understand that you check the debt clock, man. It's going through the roof. It's going straight through the roof, man. Your grandkids, they're adding debt unto them, which they're not gonna be able to pay back, and they're doing it. They're doing it so they can gradually crash the society, man, and bring in this new global system, which we know through the spirit is the MOTB. That's why they're doing this, man. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse. Let me see. I think it's verse 25. Yeah, verse 25. If thou lend money to any of thy people that is pulled by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury, man. And this is what you see and taking place here in Babylon the Great, man. And especially when they're going around the world, when they put it at IMF, International Monetary Fund, in these other countries, man, knowing they can't pay back that debt. He's using usury, man. Let's go into that word real quick, Baruch Shah. Let me see. The word usury, it says a legal action or practice of lending money on a responsibly high rates of interest. And this is what you're seeing taking place here in America and all around the world, man. And all around the world, man, everybody's waking up to seeing America's doing what they're creating these proxy wars and creating these economic hitmen and going into these other countries and putting in their banking system, the International Monetary Fund, and adding usury to these nations, man. They're adding usury to these nations so they can capitalize out their resources, man. But at the same time, these Americans don't know they've been doing this over in America for a long time. They've been taxing the people, highing up the interest rates, especially when you tribes, man. They've been highing up interest rates on you tribes at very high rates, with knowing you can't pay it back. So with these mortgages, these car payments, all these various things in society, and they do it so they can make monetary gain off Jake, man. It's about money. Let me jump back.
Doing this.
Right.
Yep.
Ultimately
Now they got-
destroyed.
Yep. And then like the
Until
speed
the
bag.
money goes to zero. You
Yeah.
know? And you Negroes, I'm not even gonna call you Israelite today. You're not. I'm taking away your Israelite
Privilege.
license now.
Israelite.
You're just a Negro today. Okay, true.
I got a quick reset.
You American bugle boy Negroes, okay?
You
This
gotta
is-
know the money system, man.
Well, yeah. Money's also known as currency,
Yep.
right? Current. You know, current is very important. You know.
Real quick, this is the book of Deuteronomy 23, chapter 23 and verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury, man. And that's what you're seeing when it comes to Esau Edom, man. When it comes to Esau Edom, this is what you're seeing. This taking place here in Babylon the Great, man, and around the world. Verse 20, Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury. So we can use these different acts upon these heathen, but amongst each other we shouldn't be doing that, man. And you see that all around in Jake's neighborhood, man. They in the mindset of Esau, Edom, in that trying to capitalize off their own people, man. That's why you see Jake got to go. Jake got to be put to death. That's like Apostle Tahar just said. You Negroes, he's taking away your privileges of being an Israelite, man, because y'all in the mindset of a goddamn Edomite, man. Y'all in that same mindset of capitalizing off your own people, man, using this form of monetary gain, man. Usury, interest rates, all these various ways that you get over on your brother, man. And that's the mindset of a damn Edomite, man. This is why the Lord is going to destroy this place. And it says that the Lord thy power may bless thee in all thy settings, thy hand into thy land, whether thou goest to possess it, man. So you shouldn't be doing this amongst your fellow Israelites. But unto a heathen, yeah, you can practice usury because they're heathens, man. They're heathens. We're above them, man. Let me jump back real quick.
Without current, things don't get done. What if they were to shut down all the current?
Current is a flow.
It's a flow.
Money is a flow. The blood, the lifeblood of a society is
money.
their money.
It's money. That's how the Heavenly Father said
But
it.
you Negroes you do hip hop videos. You got the
Federal Reserve.
You don't realize that you like Floyd.
clowns.
My name is Floyd. My name is Floyd. Floyd Money Mayweather. Well, you should have pieces of gold in your hand,
And
man.
silver, yeah. But if you did that, you wouldn't be around too much. Yeah, because they would have got rid of you and take your gold and your silver.
Now they got you with the crypto thing. They got you used to this crypto thing because guess what? They're going to introduce you to the world of crypto digital currencies, man.
Yep. CBDC.
CBDC.
Real quick, this is Proverbs 28 and verse 8. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. And this is what you're seeing, man. This is unjust gain, man. This is America to a T, man. Unjust gain, usury, man. Anytime it's all about trying to gain something off the next man here in this society, man. And that's the mindset of an Edomite. The mindset of an Edomite is trying to gain something off somebody else, man. That's why they set up all these snares and traps within their banking system, within their so-called mortgages and all these things, all these different clauses and things like that. So it's gonna be monetary gain because they know Jay can't pay them mortgages off. So they set it up where they'll foreclose the home where they can buy it back for cheap. They do that, man. This is the mindset of an Edomite. And a lot of you niggas, you in that same mindset, man. And this is why a lot of niggas got to be put to death, man. A lot of niggas got to be put to death. And they use that same type of usury within the rap labels. All these rap labels and these so-called artists, they use that amongst them. This is what's practiced here in America, man. And I want to grab this real quick. This is an economic hit, man.
Released around the world. He was Time Magazine's Man of the Year. Instead, it goes to our big corporations to build infrastructure projects.
Give me a second. I'm gonna start from the top.
We economic hitmen really have been the ones responsible for creating this first truly global empire. And we work many different ways. But perhaps the most common is that we will identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, and then arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sister organizations. But the money never actually goes to the country. Instead, it goes to our big corporations to build infrastructure projects in that country, power plants, industrial parks, ports, things that benefit a few rich people in that country, in addition to our corporations, but really don't help the majority of the people at all. However, those people, the whole country is left holding a huge debt. It's such a big debt they can't repay it, and that's part of the plan, that they can't repay it. And so at some point, we economic hitmen go back to them and say, listen, you owe us a lot of money, can't pay your debts, so sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies. Allow us to build a military base in your country, or send troops in support of ours to someplace in the world like Iraq, or vote with us on the next UN vote. To have their electric utility company privatized and their water and sewage system privatized and sold to U.S. corporations or other multinational corporations. So there was that whole mushrooming thing, and it's so typical of the way the IMF and the World Bank work, that you put a country in debt, it's such a big debt it can't pay it, and then you offer to refinance that debt and pay even more interest. And you demand this quid pro quo, which you call a conditionality or good governance, which means basically that they've got to sell off their resources, including many of their social services, their utility companies, their school systems sometimes, their penal systems, their insurance systems, to foreign corporations. So it's a double, triple, quadruple whammy. The precedent for economic hitmen really began back in the early 50s when democratically elected Mossadegh, who was elected in Iran, he was considered to be the hope for democracy in the Middle East and around the world. He was Time Magazine's Man of the Year. But one of the things that he'd run on and began to implement was the idea that foreign oil companies needed to pay the Iranian people a lot more for the oil that they were taking out of Iran. The Iranian people should benefit from their own oil. Strange policy. We didn't like that, of course.
And that's wicked practices by who? The devil, man. Esau, Edom. That's wicked practices. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 13. Have given forth upon usury and have taken increase, shall he then live? He shall not live. He have done all these abominations. He shall surely die. His blood shall be upon him, man. And this was coming to this damn devil, man. Because that's like you see, he uses these economic hitmen and go and add all this interest and debt upon these damn poor nations that knowing they can't pay it back. And all these nations are upset and they rising up against this devil, man, because they understand what's been taking place, man. And this devil's been doing this for a long time, man. That's why the scripture says Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, man. The earth was given over to Esau, Edom, to go around and deceive the nations and pull this bullshit, fried and deceiving, man. Being the devil, the word devil goes back to the Latin word diablos, which means what? Deceiver. And this is a big characteristic of the so-called white man, going around the world deceiving all these nations, putting up on this usury and this so-called international monetary fund with this debt bait note, and knowing they can't pay back they can't pay the loan back, man. So the so-called white man, he does nothing but expose himself. Their tongue shall fall upon himself in the last days, man. And you seeing it, because this is the characteristics of the damn devil, man. This Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long into him that laden himself with thick clay? And this is what you're seeing, man, because this thick clay is been laid, and all this money can't be paid back, man. Let's check it out real quick. Let's check out the debt. Let's check out the debt clock. Look at this. It ain't gonna be paid back, man. That's that thick clay, man. That debt. Off what? Usury, monetary, off gaining and deceiving the people to believing in this fiat currency, man. This fiat currency that's not backed by gold. The dollar's it's not been backed by gold since 1973 when Nixon was in office, man. And they set up these snares and traps when the people believe it, man. And they laying themselves with thick clay, man. And the Lord, the Lord is visiting this place, man. This is why they're trying to set up this new so-called fourth industrial age by the rule of technology, which be what backed by what? The MOTB. This is what he's setting up. This is James chapter 5, verse 1. Go now, ye rich man, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, your garments are moth-eaten, your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. And that's talking about your Rothschilds, your DuPonts, your Alma-Helms, your Gettys, all these ones that set up this so-called this usury, man. And I can show you right here that these guys were set up for this usury, man. Because when you go in here, let's look what it says. It says the club thrived through the early 20th century. Its members came from many of the world's wealthiest families, most notably by the Morgans, the Rockefellers, and the Vanderbilts, man. Come on, man. So the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Gettys, all these so-called families set up this so-called Federal Reserve, man. So they can do what, man? Monetary gain, man. To tax the people with high interest rates and this debt note, and put all the gold, silver, and the precious jewels into themselves, man. And they've been exposed in these last days, man. Verse 4, James 5:4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, cry. And that's talking about us, man. That's talking about us, man. And it says, and the cries of them have reaped, have reaped entered into the ears of the Sabbath oath, man. Yeah, at the Lord of armies, man. Yahweh Shem Shah. And Slaki, it went over. And it says, ye have lived in pleasures on the earth, and been one time, ye have nourished your hearts as in the days of slaughter, man. And that's what Esau Edom, he's lived in pleasures, man. He time is on his side, man. But now what? Time is ticking. He knows his time is short. Revelation 12:12. This is why he's trying to hurry up and set up this global reset, this fourth industrial age, because he know his time is short now, man. And it says, ye have demanded and killed the just, and have do not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husband waiteth for the pleasure, the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it until he receive the early and the latter rain. And this was coming. The Lord sees the true men that's calling on the names of Yahweh Shem Shah with truth and sincerity. That righteous fruit represents the remnant. That's patient wait, man. Patient go back to suffer. That's waiting on the Lord return, man. Because we're exposing this devil in these last days, man. All this wicked acts and wicked deeds that this dude is doing, man. By what? Using usury, by all this debt, all this wickedness that he's doing. He's been exposed. He's been exposed in the last days. Everybody's saying that America ain't this so-called big bad bully no more. That America so-called money is not backed by anything. That America is basically just full of shit. And now it's been exposed in the last days. And this is why he's in Operation Warp Speed, trying to hurry up and bring forth his new world order. But at the end of the day, it's gonna what? It's not gonna prosper him, man. Because his ass is gonna get rounded up and put in chains, man. And you can clearly see that the white man is on his way out, man. And they know it through the spirit, man. But through the spirit, Lord willing, it's a quick edifying lesson. I was just inspired to do this by the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, because you can clearly see this place is done. They got this right here. If it pull up, let me see. It says 100+ nations have global agreement now begin to deploy called Project Sandman to drop and end the dominance of the U.S. dollar and petrodollar. So this was actually taking place, man. And this is why he's hurrying up and bringing forth trying to bring forth his fourth industrial age, man. Because the dollar is not worth any damn thing, man. It's done. This place is finished, man. Look at this, man. Damn debt note. Look at that. Look at that debt. You're not paying that shit back, man. This place is done, man. This place is finished through the spirit, man. Through the spirit, America is finished, man. So with that, Lord Williams was edifying through the spirit, man. Just something quick through the spirit. Lord Williams was edifying through the spirit and power. Yahweh Shem Shah. I don't say call hello Yamla. Yahweh Shem Shah by Shem Kakwadash. Double honor to my apostle elders, great millstone of Ruel. Peace and salutation, all the Akim, pushing this truth with our righteousness and sincerity. Shalom Akim.